Chris in Barrington.
Hi, Sean. You're a gentleman and a scholar. So,
hey, been called a lot of things, Chris, but let me write this one down. That's the first time for that, but go ahead.
So the poor woman that got nearly burned alive on the train, they go on and classify this an act of terrorism. So wouldn't that have insurance implications where she can't sue anybody or they can't pay out because it's an act of war or act of terrorism?
Now, do you know what I love about this? Do you know what I love about this question? Number one, I could tell two things. I could tell you're a businessman, I could tell you're smart, and I could tell you're old. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. You're old enough to remember before September 11th. September 11th changes all the rules, brother. And in fact, in most commercial policies, you have to actually have a terrorism clause depending on the size of the commercial project or commercial industry that you're in. I guarantee you the CTA has a terrorism clause.
Right.
So it's an excellent point, and you would have been, it would have negated it before September 11th. But after September 11th, the laws and regulations that came in for commercial businesses and commercial owners and commercial property, you actually have to include it. I think if it's anything to do with more than a certain amount of people, if your business has a certain amount of people, you have to have a terrorism policy. It's amazing, though. Insurance companies hate that, Chris, when you have to add on policies and pay like 6 times the normal fee. They hate that.
Oh, they hate that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
That poor woman.
Thank you. Yeah, can you imagine 20? You know what that means? Her parents are probably my age, your age. Can you imagine? Here's your kid. She wants to move to the city, be a nice girl, looking at her phone, minding her own business, and this worthless piece of dung that somebody should have motzed 30 years ago burns her. And even if she lives, you keep thinking about that. Do you remember when Richard Pryor and the rest of it got burned? Do you remember what he used to say when he came back? He said the pain was so excruciating. Every nerve in your body was on fire and screaming. He said there were times even after he healed, he wished he would die. And now this poor thing, the rest of her life, it's an unbelievable, horrific crime. And you can't kill this son of a dog more vicious enough to satisfy me. You better William Wallace him. I want his head on one side of the city and his feet on the other. Thank you very much, Chris. Kevin, Las Vegas.
Wife of former Illinois corruption-indicted alderman takes top spot in Illinois Supreme Court. I mean, it sounds like a Babylon Bee headline. You got to play that clip again for me.
It's even better when you let it breathe. Let's let it breathe a little bit. Ready?
Her husband was once a high-powered Chicago alderman. Now she's been tapped to take the top job on the state's highest court. Ann Burke will become Chief Justice of the Illinois Supreme Court when she's sworn in next month. She's the wife of indicted alderman Ed Burke. Ed Burke is still facing federal corruption charges. He pleaded not guilty earlier this year to bribery, racketeering, and extortion charges. Because he's facing federal charges, it's unlikely his case will be a conflict for his wife.
No, not at all. Supreme Court Chief Justice.
God.
That's why
so great.
When and this is the hardest thing. When I first, went out of Chicago, I used to be like, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Look at me. And you tell people you're from Chicago and they laugh because it is a worldwide joke. If it wasn't for Jordan and basketball, people would be, they wouldn't even let you into business. Where are you from? You look like an idiot from Chicago. Get the frack out of my business, scumbag. You're low enough to do this?
The last official day for Chief Justice Ann Burke at the Illinois Supreme Court.
It's pretty overwhelming.
Burke has been on the Illinois Supreme Court for 16 years, the last 3 as chief. And after more than 30 years.
So for the 13, when you were just on the Supreme Court, how many cases did you stifle, honey? How many scumbags did you get out of the jam? How many? Rat. I thought the whores were the ones he brought in Rush Street.
As a judge, she is retiring.
For someone who's dyslexic and dropped out of college and didn't go back until I was married and had kids, I can't believe the opportunities that I've had.
Burke said.
And if you weren't Ed Burke's wife, honey, you wouldn't have been able to get a job at 7-Eleven. Handling the register on the night shift, you frickin' moron.